everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a build update of the AMT 67 Chevelle Pro Street. As you can see, I got quite a bit done on this engine today. We got the spark plug wires run, we got the vacuum advance run, I got my PCVs run, we got linkage. Check the linkage out. That's all hand cut out of little tiny, let's see if I can get a piece, little tiny pieces of plastic that I had, and I drilled the holes in them and then cut everything out that didn't look like brackets. The rails and everything are made out of my 0.3 millimeter solder. I use that stuff for everything. So are my spark plug wires. On this side, I know it's kind of hard to see, but the two fuel rails running up, those are also the same solder. Spark plug wires are the same 0.3 millimeter solder. The PCV is this bigger set of solder. I don't know the size. It's, I think, 24. It's number 66/44 is the only information I got on this stuff. A buddy of mine gave it to me a long time ago, so I use it quite a bit for that. I highlighted, detailed, pin washed everything. Got the headers on. I had a pin wash video that I made showing how I do that. I think everything is coming out here pretty slick on this engine. I did put the valve covers on upside down, so I had to chisel them off, flip them around, and glue them back on the right way. Want to thank everybody on Facebook that pointed it out, because straight up I knew how they were supposed to go, but let me show you this. In the directions that I glanced over while I was putting them on, it shows 3 on the bottom instead of the 4, but the one where it shows you putting them in place, which is what I should have done, shows 4 bolts on the bottom and the 3 on the top. So I looked at the wrong one because I was in a hurry. God knows I've built enough frickin' engines that I should know, but I wasn't paying attention. So there is the engine. Let me get that out of the way. The next thing is the body is back to gray. I tried everything I could to fix that paint job, but it was so orange peeled that it just wasn't going to fix. So we're back to gray, and honestly, man, I'm liking the gray. It may stay this with just a real high gloss over top of it and polished out. So we'll see what happens with that. But there's that. The chassis, I painted this flat black. I do have to put a little bit of future floor polish on the rubber mat to bring up the gloss on that. And I'm going to leave this to flat. But on the bottom, I painted the tub just like I was saying. I painted this aluminum. I did all the frame rails semi-gloss black, and then in between I painted with the same flat black as I did for the carpet. Just, I wanted to give it the separation of where they had to manufacture everything for the frickin' tubs, but they still left everything for the body. You know, it's the way you're going to do it anyhow. Then I highlighted, they already had in the fuel line and the brake lines, so I left them in. It does have the emergency brakes in here, and I didn't sand them out because I don't honestly know if you're going to have emergency brakes on a topped out engine. So I left them black for right now until I can get upstairs and read if there are emergency brakes, and I'm sure somebody can leave me a comment, and I would really appreciate it if there are or not on something like this. I've never worked on them, so I really don't know. But there is the chassis. I think it's looking pretty darn good. So my photographer, Duke, he likes it too. The other thing I've worked on, and again, this is going to be a quick video, is I chrome the rails on the steering wheel painted everything else semi-gloss black, and then the detail in there, I'm trying to make it to where it'll for sure be in focus, for the Chevy emblem was really pronounced enough to where I was able to hit it pretty good, and that's with a paintbrush. So I'm happy with that. The chrome part is all my Molotov pen. So that was quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then I went on to do the dashboard. And I suck at gauges. So what I ended up doing with this is I painted the dials white on everything. I was able to ring chrome around that. I used the Molotov pen on these and my silver pen inside here for the radio. Silver pen here, and then I'm sure that's supposed to say Chevelle in there, but it doesn't, but it was still there. And then I hit silver across for the vents and everything too. And then I panel lined in here with a dark gray panel liner, and up on top where the vent is. And I don't know if you can see it in the light or not if I'm turning this back and forth, but it actually shows up pretty good in person. And then for the radio, I use clear green for the dial, just what I do. But I used a black panel liner. I just put a drop in there and it spread around. And honestly, that's the best I've done. Because like I said, I suck at dashboards. So we got that done. A whole lot of other little detail parts. I got my master cylinder painted, panel lined and everything. I drilled the hole for the booster. Now what I'm going to do with that, and I've talked about it and gone back and forth between myself and a bunch of other people online, and we've talked about it. And right next to the windshield washer motor, or windshield washer reservoir, is a canister. This canister, I'm pretty sure, is for power steering reservoir. But this car doesn't have power steering reservoir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this just like a vacuum can. And I'll drill the 2 holes in it. I'll run one all the way around to the intake. I already got the hole drilled for it. The other one I will run around this way to the brake booster. And that'll be as right as I can make it. But like I said, that's 99%. That's the reservoir for the power steering. If the car had it, I would run wires down to the power steering pump or to the power steering linkage, but it doesn't, so that's going to be my vacuum canister. And I'm sticking with that now. I've gone back and forth 100 times over that, but that's what that's going to be. So there's that. And then the last thing I did was I painted my air cleaners. And what I did is I just painted them with flat white and then took my Tamiya accent colored dark gray panel liner and I went around it just to give it a little bit of detail, because every other one I've done has just been flat white. And I look at them going, it's just missing the mark. So I did this, and I think it looks a lot better. What I need to do is get out there and make some, like a tan color almost. Make a wash out of that and try that. But for this one, that's going to look good sticking out of those hoods. So anyhow, that's where we are. Tickled snotless with the engine. Happy as I could possibly be with that dashboard. And my steering wheel is cool as all get up. So there's going to be somewhere where I screw up in this interior, because I can never make the interiors perfect. But so far right now, this is going the best it can. And I'll be honest with you, I bet you I got 8 hours worth of work in my engine on this one. So I've gone deeper into this one than I ever have with the linkage and all that, just because it's a high rise and it's going to stick out of that hood. like that. And I think that is going to look cool. You'll be able to still see down inside there and see everything. And then when I take the hood off, it's going to be like, yeah. So, but anyhow, there we go. There's my update for this week. I am Mark. This is Grandpa Mark's Hobbies. Thank you very much for watching. Stick around because it's going to start getting put together now. Thank you again. Have a great day.